Welcome back to Between the Horns. Our guest today is a true baller on and off the court. Big 12 freshman of the year, was playing 39 minutes a game in her freshman year, started as a point guard, none other than Rori Harmon. We're so happy to have you on. How you doing?
Doing good. Season's about to start, and it's basically the peak of the year. So,
all right. Well, when it comes to starting off the conversation, I want to kind of bring you back. Can you tell me about the first time you touched a basketball?
The first time would probably be like a real, basketball, not one of the ones that you play around in the bathtub, but it'll be around 4 years old. I didn't really start with the small ones either. My dad just handed me one of the real 28.5 women's basketball. Yeah.
Okay. That's the way to start.
Just to let me know this is what you really will be playing with. But of course, when you play in the little leagues and whatnot, you are playing with the smaller balls.
Right.
But, yeah.
When did you realize you're just better than other kids?
The first thing I did realize is I was a lot faster than a lot of the kids. I did play soccer for a pretty long time as well, along with basketball, and just zooming past kids, like kicking the ball, and then did the same thing on the court with, actually just boys. I didn't really play with any girls growing up, but I was a lot faster than the guys, a lot faster than the little kids. But that's when I realized, okay, I probably have a chance. I got some quickness, kind of what you need to do to play basketball.
When did you make the decision to focus only on basketball?
To focus only on basketball, I would say it took me a little bit. I definitely was thinking about it in middle school, around 8th grade, and then, you play all those sports in middle school, and then as soon as high school hit, my dad and I had a conversation. It was like, look, if this is what you want to do for real, it takes a lot of time, and had to limit some other sports, so I strictly played basketball in high school.
I think there's conspiracy theory going on because this is the second episode with two Houston people too. So I feel stuff. But how was the Houston high school basketball scene? I guess Texas basketball too. High school basketball is huge. So how did that prepare you for Texas?
No, like you said, Houston and even in Texas basketball, a lot of the big cities have extraordinary basketball players in the women's and men's side, and you just basically are competing with some of the best people in the nation. And so you play against some of those kids in middle school, and then next thing you know, you end up playing with them. So feel really good. I'm glad I came out of Houston. It's nice to see that people honor Houston as where some of the best basketball players came out of. So
diving into that youth basketball experience, can you talk to me a bit about growing up playing AAU and such?
So I started AAU when I was in second grade, and I played 2 years up. So my first team, I was in second grade, and my teammates were in fourth grade. I was actually recruited at my brother's, his own AAU tournament. I was just shooting, me so little, just shooting on a goal during one of his halftime of his game. And someone saw me and just gave my parents a card, and I played with that AAU team, the Katy Rebels, for 9 years.
Oh, Katy Rebel. I know a lot about the Katy Rebels. Okay.
Yeah, I played with around there's a few that came in and out, but I played with the same people for around 9 years. And then I would say AAU started taking off when I joined Cypher Premier with Chris Johnson, and he got me a lot of scholarships, and he got me this one for sure. So it was a long journey, and that's who I am now. That's how I play basketball. It's been built around the teams that I've been playing with.
And can you talk a little bit about the recruiting process and just things you did in AAU and high school that kind of made us on the court being off court, building relationships with recruiters, coaches, coaching staffs. I guess the perspective, people want to play college basketball. How did you kind of go about that process?
I remember the first day that. I don't really know exactly the day anymore. This is a minute ago, but it was the first of what month? I don't know what month, but they were allowed to text you of, I think, your junior year. I don't know. And I was just anxious and nervous at the same time. It's either your phone's going to completely blow up, or is it going to be silent? And, luckily I was on the good side, and I had a lot of coaches reach out to me, and it's nice to see that they have interest in you, and they like your work ethic, and they think highly of you enough to play D1. But you build so many relationships with all those coaches, and it's it makes it harder to make the decision, of course. And so just knowing that Coach Schaefer and his staff was at Mississippi, they were the coaches I built the closest relationship with. But knowing it was in Mississippi, I was like, I don't know. I say this to this day, but just knowing that they were that far from my family, like I'm really close to my family. It's not like I won't go anywhere that's not far, but the opportunity came like right into my hands when Coach Schaefer and his coaching staff like came to Texas. Like it was perfect timing. I was almost about to make another decision. And so I'm a firm believer of everything happens for a reason. So that definitely did happen for a reason. So here I am now.
Can you talk us through your McDonald's All-American experience?
It was a bit of experience, but not at the same time. Of course, it was during COVID, so I didn't really get to experience the game or much of that. But on the flip side of just receiving all the gear, we got like I don't even know, like this huge box, probably taller than me, like 3 times bigger than me, and full of gear, shoes. We still use it for storage, but it's so long. This is like 3 years ago. I think they're obviously Adidas, and most of them have the colors red, yellow, and everything. But there was about like 5 or 6 pair in there, so I think
Oh, they
I
was
can't
hooking
really
y'all up.
pinpoint it. I know they gave us some hardens, and I like those a lot, but you know you can't really wear those around here. But yeah, it was a lot of gear, and that was, of course, like I'm grateful, and but it would have been really nice to play the game for sure.
I guess like, we have a couple of recurring questions, and since we're talking about coaching staff a little bit, can you give us your best impression of Coach Schaefer?
And I always say, don't get yourself in trouble.
I know the teacher, I'm starting too.
I won't get in trouble. Oh my God, there's a lot of things I could do. Well, a few of them take standing up. You know, he likes to stomp his foot and all that. And then one of his favorite sayings is he's like, "Well, that ain't it." Like, you know, I don't know. I think I've heard that a lot recently. But let's see, what else does he do? There's just a lot that he says, but that ain't it is one of his good ones that he does.
So I'm curious to know, what was your welcome to Texas moment? And this is another one of the reoccurring questions that we have. A welcome to Texas moment is, you know, you're going through high school, you're going through practices, you're going through conditioning. You're probably getting through it pretty well. When you got to Texas, what was the moment where it was like, oh, this is different?
To answer your question, I have an answer that's very vivid. I remember exactly that moment. It was freshman year. I promise you it didn't take that long. You first just move in. You're in summer school, right? We have summer school. And you're moving in the dorms, and all of a sudden, now you have your first workout. It's individual, so they're only about an hour. And we split up in like positions, and so there's like guards, point guards, post players, and whatnot. And when I tell you, I have never felt that bad in my whole life when it came to playing basketball. I immediately I got checked. Like, this is what it's really like. Like, everything was so fast paced. There was no such thing as walking. I don't remember drinking water. They don't waste time. That was the other thing. Time management was, like, I realized, like, they don't waste time. It's time to get going. You only get a specific amount. Of course, I didn't know any of the rules back then. Like, I didn't know you had only 8 hours and then you worked your way up to 20. But, of course, now I know. But I remember calling my mom. My dad was like, I've never felt that bad. Like, I felt really bad. And just knowing that I was pushed, though, and, like, I was able to push past being, like, tired and push past being challenged. It made me realize, okay, I'm going to get better here.
What parts of your game do you feel like have intrigued you most since you got to Texas?
I usually like that question. I believe just understanding basketball in general. You think you know everything when you're ranked really high. You get McDonald's All-American. You're like, you get recruited to Texas. You think like, oh, I know everything. Can't learn much more. But just knowing the experience of college basketball, it is completely different than high school. It is different. It's more challenging. The game is faster. There's a lot of things that you're thinking about as far as numbers now. You're not just thinking about like, oh, that play looked good. Like, no, you're thinking about how many turnovers do I need this game or at all? And then like where to get the ball to who. and win. It's just a lot to think about, and playing with, like, for Coach Schaefer as a point guard, it's not always going to be the easiest thing. It is very challenging, but that's what I signed up for. Like, I don't want to go somewhere I'm not going to be challenged and where he's expecting me to know everything. So that is, yeah.
I mean, it's really interesting to hear you talk like about the learning curve that you experienced going from high school basketball to college basketball. But as I mentioned earlier, you were starting as a freshman. So how did you handle that mindset shift?
It was really challenging knowing that, you know, you're coming in as an 18-year-old. Just Coach Schaefer's like, okay, you're going to be my point guard. Like, I want you to direct your team. And it's like, people on my team are like 22, 20, 21, 23 years old. And it's like, you think you're in an uncomfortable position. You're like 18 trying to tell like the adults what to do, right? And so you kind of have to smooth over that hump. And once you do, and once you earn that respect, and Coach Schaefer definitely did help me, like, and, you know, you have great teammates to, like, understand, and you just learn so much. And I'm still learning on being a leader, and I'm not an underclassman anymore, so I can't, like, act like it. So now that I'm a leader and I'm a junior and I'm the point guard, it's like there's not a lot of room for error anymore. So just, it was challenging, and I'm not saying I picked it up like the next day. I would say I haven't gotten it down completely yet, but it's improving. So
that's what's up, yeah.
For those that don't know, there's only 2 players in the NCAA last year to score more than 11 points and average more than 7.5 assists, and those players, Caitlin Clark and Rori Harmon. So tell me a little bit about, like, passing. I don't want to say scoring a huge part of your game, you're a scorer, but kind of how has that evolved since you've gotten here? And can you walk us through your favorite dive? Or who's your one person you know, like, the always finding that spot perfectly that you all have that telepathic connection on the team?
You know, we have a whole bunch of shooters and stuff, and those are pretty easy passes to make because they're like chest passes, right? Those aren't that exciting. But when you make like a hook pass or like a round the back pass, I would say Deanna is the person I know that's gonna probably find a way to catch it, because my passes aren't going to always be perfect, and she's going to be in the right spot. But I would say scoring comes easier when you know how to pass. You know, as a point guard, like, and vice versa, you know. So if I'm getting into the paint and I've scored a few buckets now the shooters who are on my team and their defense, now they're coming to me to help. So once I get into the paint, all eyes are looking at me. So now I've opened up the floor, and now I can pass it out to the shooters and even like 5 players for a quick up or something. So I'm saying, like, everything like goes together. So yeah.
You just put that IQ on, like, display. I liked it. It's cool. So I heard the women's basketball team here had a bit of a visitor a couple weeks ago. The boy, Six God. I heard he was in town. Can you tell me a bit about that?
You know, I'm so grateful, and like, I know there's so many pictures out there, like me looking completely in disbelief and shaking his hand, but oh my God, it's like his music, like, he's like one of my favorite artists, and it's like, you can't thank like the coaches enough for getting that done, you know. And then along with that, you get like VIP tickets or like really like close seats that are like perfect. Like, you can see him right there, and it's like, well, I talked to him, I met him, so we're cool now, you know? No, but, I mean, it's just, I felt so grateful to be around, like, a presence like that, and, I mean, I can't lie, his music does get me through the day, and he's very motivational, he's very positive, and to see how chill he is, and to see, like, he's, as much as like we think he's a god, and which he is still, he's still a regular person. And you almost forget that, like, when he comes in your locker room and shakes your hand and takes a picture with you in your locker room. It's like it's like something that could change your life, pretty much. So
What's your favorite song on the new album?
I can't choose. I'm not gonna lie, I have replayed that same album probably the past, like, ever since it came out, which was not that long ago. But I couldn't tell you. I like a lot of them. I do.
So this segment, we're going to be doing this or that. Pretty self-explanatory. Let's get into it. Rori, night on morning practice.
Oh my God. I like morning. I think it's because we get out the way.
Jump shot or layup?
The fancy layup.
Fancy layup.
Yeah.
Beating bucket or assist?
Personally, I would probably be the assist person, but I do like to see a nice bucket at the end. So.
Candace Parker or Sue Bird?
Candace Parker.
Weekday or weekend day?
Weekday.
Boat or plane?
Boat.
Be able to answer this one, but drills or scrimmage?
Oh, scrimmage. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, scrimmage.
Braids or ponytail?
Like me?
Yeah, on you.
Or just ponytail?
Sunrise or sunset?
Sunset.
Italian or Mexican?
Mexican.
Small town or big city?
Small town.
Silver or gold?
You said what?
Silver or gold? You wearing gold?
Gold. Yes.
That was This or That. Hope you enjoyed. Let's dive back into the conversation. Now, Rory, I heard that you've been coached by your dad for quite some time. Can you tell me about how that was growing up with your dad as your coach?
Not only was he my coach, but he was my trainer. So it kind of makes life easier. Like, he trains you, and so the game would kind of come easier, and he won't be fussing at you as much.
Wait, hold on. I got to stop you. You just said that your dad being your coach and your trainer made life easier for you.
I guess I can see why that kind of shocks you. I feel like that could make...
Coming from someone who had their dad as their coach and their trainer, and you said that made your life easier? That's what's up.
I don't... Honestly, like, it's so really chill and mellow with my dad, and he always used... He never fussed. He never yelled. He knew that I wanted to become a great basketball player one day, and he knew that I was hard on myself, and... He knew when I made a mistake, I knew that I made that mistake, and he knew I was going to try my best to not make the same one. So I think just going through that and him knowing and how close we were, it did make life easier. I know there's probably not a lot of people that can say the same
right,
thing,
yeah.
but I'm so grateful to have someone that close to you. Like, I don't have to reach out to him every day. I know he's going to be there for me all the time. There's no doubt that he's going to be that person that I can go to about anything, but of course, like, the game will be the first. And I'm like excited for the season to start again, because I'm excited for my parents to be there, and all they want to do is just watch me play. But he'll have a little bit of something to say about, like, oh well, you should have took this, like something like that. But he already knows he's not there every day in practice or in any practice really, so he understands that I'm playing for someone else. Like, he trusts me. He trusts Coach Schaefer, obviously, with me. That's why I'm here. And he just is glad to see that I'm happy here and that I'm very successful.
That's incredible. That's amazing.
What are some, are those early, drills or, I guess, pieces of wisdom that you dropped, or even, games put on for you of people to watch?
It's interesting. I have an older brother, so when I was younger and I didn't play yet, my brother did play, and he would go to tournaments, and there's 8 different age groups and whatnot. So I watched younger kids, older kids, whatever it was. But one of the things that he would do was when we were sitting in the stands, he would ask me certain questions, like what defense are they in? So these are there's only 2 defenses you can really run. It's a zone and a man, right? And or sometimes it could be a triangle 2, sometimes diamond 1. But he would ask me those questions, kind of started building my IQ about the game. And that was the IQ part of the game, But as far as skill level, and I think one of the things that helps me be a point guard and at this height, and it's just the cone drills that we would do, tight cone drills. So you're working on your ball handling, your rhythm, just going through, I don't know how many cones, we could do 5 or 10, and I like cone drills because I know it's not game because you're not gonna just go cone to cone in a game, but it tightens your ball handling. And I feel like some people forget that the fundamentals is still very important to go back to. It's you're falling back on your habits at that point. And so that's something that has like I'll do still now. Even though I'm probably a really good ball handler, I'm still not the best I can be, you know. You still kind of lose it off your foot every once in a while, feel uncomfortable with this hand, this move. But those are the things, that's the one thing that he definitely harped on. It's like, if you can't dribble the ball, you cannot play basketball. So
That's a statement right there, yeah. Who are some of the players that you try and emulate your game after?
I definitely, Allen Iverson is, my go-to. I actually just got a poster made of him. He's doing his arms raised up, and I have a picture of me doing the same thing. So I'm gonna put it in my room, and I just got a Iverson jersey. So I probably should have had one a long time ago, as much as like I've loved him, like praised him my whole life. But, you know, he's so confident, skillful, quick with the ball. You know, he's not super tall like me. So
when we're wearing the braids, are we channeling the inner AI?
yes, exactly.
What are you reading on the court? Let's say you're attacking a defender, it's fast break. What are you reading about the defender?
The first thing you do, like when you're dribbling, you think like you need to look up when you're dribbling, but most of the time you're kind of not. It's not like your head's like this, but you're looking at their feet, and their feet are kind of close to the ground, so you're looking at the ground. But as a point guard and as any basketball player, you should have really good peripheral vision. But I'm looking at if their top foot is what I'm looking at. So if they give me a visible top foot, that's where I'm going. Either they're going to commit a foul or they're just going to get beat, you know? So that is in how high they're standing, how low they're standing, where their hands are. There's a lot of things but feet is definitely to get by somebody. Hands is another thing for like passing and whatnot. And, you know, if they're starting to backpedal, you always attack them. If they start backpedaling, they're already beat. So,
What does a typical practice look like for Texas? I'm curious.
let's see. Usually, so we're in 20-hour weeks right now. Season has started. We will usually go about 3 hours of practice. And the beginning is more like, you know, getting warm. There's like transitioning and a lot of full court drills, like just drills, strictly drills. Like working on passing layups, like shots, not too much like scrimmaging yet. And then we work into our offense where we start bringing our practice players in, some of our managers to play against us. And it's still some drill stuff, but it's not like back and forth yet. You know, can't really go back and forth a whole lot yet. The season just started. We got a lot of winded people. And then there's this one drill where you know it's about to flip to defense. It's called defense on the floor. So you're basically playing defense, kind of like the zigzag where you dribble side to side. Not necessarily sliding your feet, you know, what you probably think, but more so like running, turning and cutting them off, running again, turning them, cutting them off. And that's when defense starts. So we started doing like shell, box out drills, whatever defensive drills, rebounding. Yeah, that too. Yep. And so that will probably work. And, you know, it can vary, but this is basically like the layout. And then we'll probably get back into some more like up and down just to see how we can react to being tired. And then end it out with maybe some conditioning, free throws, or just in practice. Those are the best
Talk about the
days.
conditioning a bit.
Oh, we
Just saw the breath.
had a pretty rough day. It was challenging, you know, but it is something you have to do to get in shape. To get in shape, you have to keep going when you're tired, you know? And so we run what's called a ladder. And so think about you only get 6 seconds to go baseline to baseline. So that's like the first part of the ladder. Then you're building to 11 to 16.
This is like bringing back like traumatic memories. Like,
so you get to all the way to the top, which is, I think, down and back is 1. So you have 5 of those, and then through half. So that takes 40 seconds, probably a little bit less for, you know, the faster ones. And then you do that one again, and then you come back down. And so then if you don't make the time, we're running it again. Yeah. If you don't make the time, it's like you have to be there on time. They're looking. I mean, there's about like 20 staff members in there, so they can see. And so that's not always the best part about practice. Actually, the worst. I'm not afraid to say that.
That's real.
It feels bad. Yeah,
That's
it does
real.
feel bad, but I know what it's going to help us do in the long run, so I'm going to do it anyway.
I once tried to dive across the line, like, to make it in time.
Good. I like people like
At
that.
a second left, I just said,
Look, I'd rather that than having to redo the whole thing again.
and I made it in time.
The worst is when you get like all the side eyes the first time you don't get it. The second time, you're like, oh, yeah. Oh man. Thinking about, I guess, like how does the team feel this year? Like, if you had to think about like this year in terms of like a campaign for you, what does this year kind of look like for you, and what you trying to accomplish this year?
We have basically around majority of the team back, and of course some amazing additions, amazing like freshmen coming in, and I mean we're confident, you know. We know what we can do, and it's now time to get to work. You can't really, like Coach Shaver always says, you can't walk the walk, like talk it, you know. And so getting to work and putting our heads down, knowing that we do have a lot of preseason awards and just there's a lot of potential, and it's almost like you don't want to talk about it too much because it's like, you know what you got. We don't have to keep talking about it. We just need to get to work and prove it. So,
What are some of your upcoming goals for this season?
Yes, I got preseason player of the year for the Big 12.
Congratulations, by the way.
But I really want to get the actual like end of the year, end of the season Big 12 player of the year. Defense player of the year would be nice too. I would like to have that one again. There's a lot of different awards. I want to get as many as I can, as much as I can, and much as that is available to me. So, you know, this is a new year, a fresh start. Like, what is the first impression I'm going to make for this year? So, yeah.
Who are you looking most forward to playing this year?
Everyone is. I'm excited to just play basketball. Like, I mean, it's just when the tip goes up and it's like, yes, you have to pay attention to the name on the other jersey, but at the same time, like, do you really? Because at the end of the day, like, it's how we play. Are we ready to play? Are we prepared? We're good enough. The only people that are going to beat us is us at this point. And so, yeah.
Really, that's pretty solid. At first, I thought she was dodging smoke, but no, you broke it down pretty well.
Are you with us?
Actually, I do have a quick question I wanted to ask you. In the past year, I've kind of noticed a huge resurgence of women's basketball in terms of media attention, in terms of social media attention, especially with what LSU was able to do last season. Can you talk about a bit of what you want that to look like going forward for Texas?
I'm just grateful to be a part of that. You know, just any women's basketball player out there, like, or any female athlete, just to see that you're a part of such change, like an era of change right now. And, you know, there are the select few that have, like, put it out there for us, but it's all of us together. Like, we're working together on this, and I believe, like, whatever it is, women's basketball, female sports, like, we're going to be successful, and it's going to keep climbing. And like I said, a win is a win, so all female sports will win.
So one question I love asking our guests is, what makes Texas elite?
We just win, you know? I just feel like anytime I turn around or anytime I look on social media or in this Hall of Fame and anywhere I go, there's somebody is winning. Somebody is becoming All-American. Somebody just won a national championship, Big 12 championship, like whatever it is. It's like no dull moment, you know? And the expectations that the school has for not only like student athletes, but of course just students. The academics is crazy, you know. It's really hard as a student athlete right now, but I just feel like the expectations that people hold each other accountable for things. That is why we're so successful and that we win a lot. So yeah.
Rori, super excited to see how we need you this season. There's gonna be a lot more breakers, a lot more assists, a lot more targets. So, over that.